Right, as you can quite clearly see, I'm currently removing the paint off the helmet. The easiest way in this case is to just use a wire wheel because, I mean, it does dissolve with paint thinner, but it's 2 layers of paint, so it's going to take forever, so I just do it like this because it's quicker. And also chipping the paint off with a hammer would work, but yeah. And also I remove the paint off. There we go. Now you can hear me better. The liner band. It had quite a bit of red paint on it. Now it doesn't, which is good. About 64&A57 from 1937, as I already said. Also then the markings on the chin strap. So yeah. What's also quite interesting about the liner is that, let's see, where is it? The size stamp is on the wrong side. It should be on that side, but it's not, it's there. So that's an interesting factory mistake. What's also interesting is this unit marking. It's, I'm not sure if I already said, but yeah, I'll keep on removing the paint now. I also, let's see, there we go. Remove the paint of the split pins. I have the back plates downstairs because they had no paint on them. So yeah, I'll get back to this now. Let's just do it like this. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick little update on the helmet restoration, since I did do some more progress on it, but I never really got to, well, yeah, filming that progress, which is unfortunate because I mean it would have made for some interesting content. But yeah, so this is what we're at now. That's a picture. Let's see, make it focus. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, we've got the decals on there now, but yeah, still no liner. I'll need to wait for that to arrive. I actually won an auction for an original liner band, which is a reinforced aluminium liner band, which isn't exactly the correct one to get in there, but it's original and it's dated 1939, so it's good enough. So I'll put that in there, though the condition is not too good, but it was cheap, so thought I might just as well, and it's still complete. I'll just need to put a inner ring in there and also a leather piece, which are two things I'll make yeah, completely by myself now. And yeah, I mean, I'll show you my progress on those as well, but it'll take a bit until I can complete them because the parts will only arrive like early next year, because I still need to order some things to make them. Yeah, let's just show the shell off as well. So painted it a nice apple green. It's kind of dark right now, so you can't really see. I'll try to make a quick little video as well tomorrow when it's light out again, so you can see what the apple green or olive green or pea green, there's many names for the same paint, looks like during daytime. So it's kind of dark right now, but let's just show the decals. Right, focus, come on, there we go. Yeah, that's Quist so-called Bigfoot decal because the feet are quite big. The split pins are also original, I just repainted them. They're early brass split pins, as you can see here. All of them still complete, and because they're brass they won't break while bending them, unlike some steel ones. Here's the tricolor shield, that also looks very nice. And yeah, the decals are applied with glue, and you have to remove the residue with turpentine. I'll actually, if I remember, to show you how to apply the decals. These are from D-Day 1944, because they're kind of the most detailed ones you can get. How to apply them and how to get rid of the glue. They're very expensive, but they do look good. Though I do have a bit of criticism for this one, and you won't be able to see it in the video, but in person you can really see the print lines here. It's very zigzaggy, so to say, which is kind of a bit meh, because I guess it's one of the older reproductions they have. So yeah, don't think you'll be able to see it here because of the resolution, but in person you do see it when you look very closely. but only when you look closely. If you look at it from, I don't know, more than like, I don't know, 8 inches away, you won't see it. But yeah, just something to let you know. I also made the paint a bit aged by going over it with steel wool and then also with wood chips to give it kind of a sort of smooth and slightly polished surface, even though it's supposed to be opaque and or matte paint. But if you look at originals, you can also see that they look similar because of use, so I did the same. So yeah, there's that. But that's not all. I actually have another helmet that I'll restore. Let's get back into focus. There we go. Now, this, as you may be able to see, is not World War II, is it? It's an M18, or Stahlhelm 18, or M18, whatever. You get the idea. It's the same shape as the first model of steel helmet, the M16, just without the bolts here for the liner, because on the M18 the chin strap was incorporated into the liner band. So that's that. This also has original early split pins. The paint in here is Luftwaffe blue, because when I got it, it was used by a fire department. Had a fire department liner in here with fire department split pins and black paint in the dome. And when I removed the paint from there, there was nothing. Let me just make sure it's still in focus. Yeah, good. So I decided to make it as if it were a helmet that was used at first by the Luftwaffe and then reissued to the Heer in this green paint. Now, the paint is actually this is how I bought the helmet, interestingly enough. I don't know what like post-war department painted it this way, because the shell was completely blank here. So it was done at a later stage. But yeah, I don't know who did it and why this color, because this looks very similar to a very early, also M18 helmet, reused by the first the Reichswehr and then by the Wehrmacht. So I'll just leave it in this paint color because it looks exactly like an original one, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it's also sort of aged, but not that much. And yeah, I'll make this also a Double Decal Heer helmet. I initially wanted to there it is. Make it an early Luftwaffe helmet. That's why I repainted the inside in Luftwaffe gray. But since this paint already looks so correct, I decided not to, because I already got this early this reproduction of an early Luftwaffe decal, which, I mean, would have also looked nice, but yeah, since the paint's already like this, I'll just make it a Double Decal Heer helmet as well. There we go. So just so you know, this one's, by the way, yeah, this one's marked Q64, as you've already seen, and this one is, let's see if we can get it in the camera. I'm trying to get it in the light first before I focus. Oof, it's kind of dark. Well, it's marked ET64 for Eisenhüttenwerke Thale. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's in good condition, which is nice, and I didn't pay too much for this, because these early shells usually go for quite high prices. Even the M35s and M42s are pretty cheap, then M40s are a bit harder to find, but also doable. And then M35s, M16 and M18 and Austrian M17s, they are more expensive, at least in good condition, like this one is. This has no pitting or rust or anything, so this will be perfect for restoration. That's those, but I want to show you something else too, which is, as I already said, I'll be making my own liner bands, and these are the inner rings, because on the reproductions these are made of just spring steel that is blued, which is not correct. They should be galvanized steel, if anything, as on this original one. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, zinc plated steel. and on the reproduction ones, at least most of the ones you'll get, it's just yeah, blued steel, which is not correct. And especially not for early ones, because those had aluminium inner bands. This is why I've got this. And I had this cut to size. This is exactly for a size, this one's for a size 56. Right, let me show you. There we are. So yeah, I also did the size stamping, which is also something the originals are, not the originals, but the reproductions are lacking. And I measured all of the holes and the distances from an original early liner band, actually the one that was in that helmet. So yeah, that's that. I'll just need to wait for the springs here to arrive so I can rivet them on there. I ordered them from a seller in Slovakia, which is the things that will be arriving next year-ish. And then I'll be able to rivet this together to have a liner here in a ring and put it in the original liner band, and it'll be the best thing you can get apart from a completely original liner. And yeah, this one's in 57, and I plan to actually make more of these. I plan to actually make them myself as kind of a part-time thing, and if anyone's interested in them, I'll be selling them as well at a pretty fair price, because I'm not planning to really make money off this. I just want to do it because I want to have more historically accurate things, unlike these reproductions which are not historically accurate. But these will be pretty much as accurate as originals, just not actually original, unfortunately. But yeah, that's those, and that's not all. There's more. There's this. Ah yes. Let's focus first. There we are. I'm also making my own leather liner pieces, because on the reproductions it's pigskin leather, which is not correct for early helmets. So wait, let me just fold it out. Here's some more. I bought a whole bunch of goat leather, which is correct for early liners, and I decided to use this, an original one as reference. Let me just turn that more like this. There we go. So I just use this as a template to make all of these, cut these as accurate as I can. Once I have better equipment for doing so, these will be even better than they are right now, because if you look at them closely, they're not completely perfect, but they will be in the end. And also, this is something the reproductions don't really get right, is these reinforcing rings. They get them on there, but they never have the holes in the middle, and as they should have. So that's also something I try to pay attention to. So yeah, that's that. And that's still not all. I'll actually get contact the firm to get the ink stamps made laser cut for me, so I can make these exactly like they should be on originals, because that's also something the reproductions get wrong. They do have ink stamps on there, but they're not completely accurate. So let me just show you this reproduction. There we go. Focus. Come on. I know you want to. There we go. So this stamp is correct with the Reichsbetriebsnummer and the date, but there's something missing. They never put the size in here, which is something that makes me kind of sad. And also the color of this stamping is not correct. It should be either a gray, dark gray to black color, or it should be blue, and this is kind of light blue or even green. That's also not quite correct. And right, I got something else, because I've got it out. I'll also show the ink stamping on this original liner. It's BO, there's a 57 there, and the date is unfortunately folded in there. It's July something, so July 1943, because the liner band is dated 1943. So I've been trying to dig around the internet to see for pictures of these ink stamps as straight on as possible, which I'll use as basis to get these ink stamps reproduced, and then I can make every correct ink stamp there was, pretty much. Like the exact size, the date that I want, yeah, just as it should be, and not as on those reproductions where you buy a liner that has a 1938 date and it's still marked 643, which, you know, nah, it makes no sense. Pretty much. And let's just roll these out here. That's the ones I've made so far. I can make them in different sizes, of course. These are just like the average size. Let's turn over. So this is kind of an improvised tripod. It's actually a camera tripod, but I just put my phone on there somehow because it has no way to affix it to it. But I did order a proper tripod now, so I will be able to make better videos. Yay! Wait. Yay. Right, is there anything else? That is the question. Oh yes, I might just as well also show this one again, because it's cool. The Luftwaffe belt buckle with the blue web tab, which turned out to be very rare, which is quite a surprise because, I mean, for what I paid for the lot of stuff I got, I pretty much got it for free. And yeah, apparently these are really rare. Like, some collector told me that I've been looking for one for years and still haven't found one. So yeah, I thought I'll just show this off again. And hopefully in better light tomorrow. So yeah, I'll see you around when I get to continue work on these beautiful helmets. Because that's just what I like to do in my free time, because I have no life. So yeah, until then. I'm just going to do this rather quickly because it's kind of getting dark by now. It's yeah, it's already dawning a bit, but yeah, just so you can see the paint in natural light now. And yeah, as you can see outside, it's a bit windy. I hope you can still hear me. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Nice shade of green. The decal. Come on, focus. There we go. Also the inside with the marking here and the lot number right there. And the split pins, of course. Some still have some remains of the red paint on it, but I don't really care because you won't see it when it's assembled, so yeah, whatever. It's not worth having to redo the paint on the outside on them as well and everything. I'll just leave them as is. So come on. There we are. Yep, that's what it looks like now. And I can't wait for it to be finished because I also just got the notification that the aluminium liner band is on the way, and I'm currently bidding on another auction for, well, one with the exactly the same stampings, but that one is in much better condition. I hope I can get that one too. I mean, for the one that's underway right now, I only paid €3.50, so that's nothing. So we'll see how much the other one brings. And I'll see you in part 2 of this restoration, because this was just the beginning to kind of, you know, explain everything and see how things became the way they were and show the current progress. And yeah, in the second part I'll try to film more the manufacturing of the liner and also the application of the decals on the M18, which I'll show outside as well when we're doing the decals. Right now it's whatever. You can imagine what it looks like. Similar to this, just more brownish, lighter. So yeah, that's this one. And I hope you like this video so far, and if you want to keep updated on it, you know, watch the second part as soon as it's released, and don't forget to subscribe and all that, because then you won't miss the second part. If you don't, you might miss it, and then you'll be very sorry. So yeah, anyway, see you next time. Bye.